Coach, obviously coming up to the conference meet, is everybody, it's been kind of a normal season for you guys where you feel your guys and ladies are peaking at the right time?
It's been very abnormal. This is the coldest spring we've had in I don't know how many years. Sure hadn't been track and field weather. But we made the most of it. We're healthy, and we're looking forward to the championships this weekend.
Obviously, you have a couple of regional qualifiers. Justin Walker in the 100, and one guy that is of note to our Shreveport area is JANAE Carter as a freshman. Track his progress a little bit, and just how he's been as a freshman.
Well, he's done everything we've asked him to do, and he's a little bit more talented than I thought he was going to be when we got him here. Having Kendall Taylor and Justin Walker to train with every day has really improved it.
Been able to push each other. He's been able to pick up some tips and techniques from those guys.
Yes, and they're great teammates. They pull for each other.
Coach, how have you guys been able to get it done? Practicing, the track field has been under construction all year long. And
we're very thankful to Nike Central for allowing us to use the track. We had to be there for about 5 weeks, and it didn't hinder our training. We had to train through some difficulties, but we managed, and we're back on that track now, and we're thrilled that we have that opportunity to train on a good track.
That kind of adversity, though, I would imagine can actually help. You're out of your element.
Well,
track guys you're creatures of routine.
We hope so. We hope it helps us. Time will tell.
It's going pretty good. We're #1 in conference in the 4x1. We got 2 runners that's top ranked in the 1 and the 2. We qualified for regionals in the 1, the 2, and the 4x1. And then we got some good jumpers. So we've been doing pretty good so far.
So you guys are #1 in the 4x1. I'm pretty sure that's a lot of confidence right now for you all heading into Southland Conference this weekend. How confident is the team right now?
We're really confident. We have a #1 time by a lot, so we're hoping that we just keep it like that. So, yeah.
Coach Johnson mentioned it's been kind of an odd year training-wise between the weather and the construction. How has that helped you guys? The adversity or the change in routine? How's that helped you guys? Has it helped you guys?
I guess, yeah, because we didn't ran in conditions like this before, so so we're kind of used to it. But it's helped us training-wise. If it's cold, we can run in cold weather. If it's hot, we know how to deal with the weather, basically. So.
One of those guys in the 100 you mentioned is JANAE Carter. He's a freshman, and Coach Johnson said you and Justin have really helped him. How has he progressed, and has his progression surprised you at all?
Actually, it has. He, I guess, is learning from us. We're trying to teach him basically everything we know, and it's good to see him come out and do the things he's done as a young freshman. So, we're pretty proud of him.
Has he been coachable?
Yes, very coachable. He listens. He
asks questions at all?
Yeah, he asks questions. Yeah. So, we just try to help him out as much as we can.
Hey, I know you guys already have a lot of qualifiers and regionals, but maybe talk about how you guys aren't looking that far ahead on that aspect, but definitely want to take care of your business at conference before the regionals.
Oh yeah, we're thinking about conference first before we get to regionals because we know we're there already. So what we're focusing on is conference. Once we get past that, then we can focus on everything else after that.
Okay, and maybe on another note, we know for sure conference, everybody gives the best of the best. So maybe talk about what it's going to take for you guys to be the best of the best team-wise.
Just going in with a positive mindset. Make sure you take care of your body. Basically, that's it.
Is there more pressure when you come in as a 1 seed, or are you just trying to make up for lost time after last year?
Personally, I don't feel like there's any pressure on me. I just feel like I just come out there and do what I do best, and that's run. The #1 seed doesn't really mean anything to me because it all matters what you run at conference. Not like the 1 seed gets a special lane or something like that. I still have to go through the same thing everybody else goes through. Just gonna go out there and do what I always do.
Coach, your 4x1, JANAE Carter is a freshman. Has come along. He's not far behind you in the open 100, but How has he surprised you with what he's been able to do?
Not really. You know, I knew Nas before he came here, and kind of knew what he was capable of before we got him on the team. So really, he's just been doing what I expected him to do, which is come out here and compete and give me everything he got, give the team everything he has.
Coach Johnson said he's learned a lot from you and Kendall. What have you tried to teach him?
Really, the main thing we just try to teach him is you can't always go by what you hear and what times you see on paper. You have to go out there and do what you have to do, and you got to run your race and do what you got to do. You can't worry about what everybody else around you is doing. You have to do what you can do.
You guys already have a few spots in regionals, but Kendall said that even though you guys are in regionals, you want to definitely take care of business in conference play. Maybe want to talk about that.
Oh yeah, that's very important because if we kind of try to just ease through conference, it's gonna kind of set us back for what we want to do at regionals. We want to keep progressing, keep getting better every week. That way, when we get to regionals, that's gonna be the best we've done that year, and keep progressing. You know, because ultimately we want to win the national title. Everybody does. And if we can be at our best at that point, that's what we really want to do.
All right, we'll talk about in order to get the national title, maybe talk about the step of trying to claim the Southland Conference title.
Oh yeah, that's very big for us. We're actually, the last time I ran, we won the title in the 4x1, and I want to go back to winning. That's really what that injury made me believe. Like I just need to come back to doing what got me to winning. And as a team, I know we want to win the conference title, and it all starts with what we all can do in the events that we have. And winning the Southland Conference title in the 4x1 is a step to that.
Been about what you expected your first year down here in Natchitoches?
I wouldn't say I expected it. I was hoping for this. I wanted to come in and do the best I could. No expectations, well, this high. I just wanted to come in and learn the ropes from the seniors and just do the best I could.
Coach Johnson mentioned Justin and Kendall as two guys who've kind of taken you under their wing and imparted a little wisdom to. What's the biggest thing you've learned from those two?
To stay relaxed. I had a problem with keeping my cool under the pressure of running with some guys that I watched over the years. They just told me to stay calm and run the way that I've been running before. Nothing's gonna happen.
Technique-wise, anything you picked up from him?
Yes, I picked up a lot from Justin. Knee lift, working on my dry phases, and from Kendall, my start has gotten a lot better.
All right, kind of talk about what you think your team needs to do in order to succeed at the Southland Conference Championships.
We just need to do what we've been doing, competing, keep PRing, doing our best, and just give it everything we got. But most importantly, just stay calm and have fun.
It's been extremely difficult between the weather, the track, every different thing that's been happening and stuff. It's been a challenge to compete and practice this whole season.
But how do you all manage to use that to get into a position that you are in right now in terms of the entire team?
I would say it helps you, it's helped us get a little bit closer, understand each other better. It's really.
Do you think it helps you prepare for any kind of condition at a competition then? Because you've dealt with different weather, different track conditions, so there really won't be any surprises?
Absolutely. I mean, well, really, there's always a surprise when it comes to it. The weather is always changing, so it's really hard to run in cold weather when it's summertime. We have to face some challenges every day, especially going out there for practice. We never know when it's raining or when it's going to be cold or when it's going to be hot. So when we go to a meet, we automatically know what to look for when it comes out down to that time.
Kelly mentioned you battled some injuries this year. I mean, do you feel like you're healthy at the right time?
Well, I feel like I'm healthy enough at that time. I'm hoping it stays strong enough for me to finish and compete, be able to compete.
All right, and what are your hopes for the team this weekend?
I'm hoping everybody goes out there and do the best they can, leaves everything on the track. I mean, it is our basically one of our last track meets of the year. So I would hope we all go out knowing that we've tried our hardest all season and done the best we can.
And as a senior, individually, what are you really going to strive for?
I'm hoping to be able to run the time that I ran my freshman year. I'm hoping to be able to qualify for regionals. and make the podium in the 200 this season.
It's been a very, very fun year with the throws group this year because there wasn't a lot of high expectations from anybody else other than myself or the group. So no one's really a big, highly recruited person. So they've all bought into the system. A couple of them, it's taken a few years. You know, JANAE was kind of a 2 or 3 year work in progress, and now she's really starting to shine. Shakimia Johnson is another one this is her 3rd year before she's finally starting to hit the big stage. And the freshman, which is Rochelle Bessard, she's the one who's kind of got into it a little bit earlier, and she's probably, you know, they'll probably all kill me from saying that, she's probably the more talented of the 3. But you know, it's been very rewarding with that group because they throw just about everything. They throw the hammer, they throw the disc, they throw the shot, and that's a lot of work. I know the runners always think that we just over there playing with toys all day, and you know, practices are very, very easy for us. But as I was just reminding them, they hate going into the weight room. Our throws practices last around 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and so that's like going into the weight room for 2 to 3 hours and then going to the weight room. I mean, we throw a lot of volume, so our practices are quite lengthy.
It's been a very, very big challenge for you all to get in good work, like you mentioned. I've seen you all practice in Prather a couple times. How has that been?
Well, this year the weather has been very unforgiving. I thought last year we had a very cold and wet spring, but this year was even, maybe not as wet, but colder. There's been more cold days this spring than probably 10 years of my other springs put together. It's been cold, and you know, when you go outside and it's 30 degrees and the wind's blowing, or even 40 degrees where it feels like it's 30, you don't want to do much of anything, let alone put a steel ball up to your neck or have your hands exposed throwing a metal discus or trying to hold on to a metal handle as a hammer. So when we've been into the Coliseum, you know, we really can't throw in there. All we can do is drill and emphasize, you know, the throw as much as we can. So we were really kind of late blooming on a few things this year because we just haven't been able to get all of our reps in outside. But you know, there's been times where I know people were driving by going, what are those guys doing outside when it's 40 degrees, slight rain or whatnot? Because some of these athletes will tell you when you go to the regional meet, the national stage, as long as it's not lightning, the meet will go on. It doesn't matter, you know, at Oregon, the meet, you know, the weather could be 40 degrees, raining sideways. The meet's still going to happen. Same thing at regional. So these kids are kind of prepared to throw in anything or compete in anything because we've had a lot of the runners out there and the jumpers doing it in all types of weather. Last Thursday at Sam Houston, the weather was probably in the 40s with the big wind, off and on rain. Everybody still competed. Now they didn't compete as hard as they probably could have, but they still competed and went out there and gave effort. So we got to be ready for everything.
Coach, you mentioned your discus throwers and 1, 2, and 3 not being highly recruited. This program's had really good success. Tracy Ryu, the last few years, kind of working along the thing. How do you guys find a knack for finding those people and developing them?
Well, you just have to go out and kind of recruit bodies and maybe just some natural ability. I look for some footwork. And sometimes I'll explain to people that throwers are like big ballerinas, you know, be it a female or a guy. You got to be very, very explosive, very strong, and you got to have some size to have some mass to put into the implement, but you got to be able to dance a lot like an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. You have to be very, very skilled, and that's usually what we'll look at. And in the state of Louisiana, unfortunately, not a lot of people work track and field very, very hard. There are coaches out there, but some schools, you know, the kids, they're out there coaching themselves. So we'll just go and we'll look at some talent, and it's a lot of tedious work to go, and there's probably more kids that we don't discover. I mean, because we can't be everywhere all the time, but you know, we'll just see some kids or we'll get some information from a high school coach and just say, look, you know, these kids have some potential, can you take a look at them? And that's what we've done in the past, and at a school this size, that's what we kind of have to do, because if they are pretty good, they all want to go to LSU or they want to go somewhere, you know, just a bigger school, because that's just everybody's dream to go to hit the big time. But you know, we've done a very good job here, and you know, thanks to some people like, you know, even before Tracy, Tabitha Jonigan, that was out of Kilgore, Texas. Then of course Tracy out of Garland, Texas, and she's kind of laid the groundwork for some of these girls like JANAE, Shakimia, and Rochelle to come in here and have the opportunity and do the things that they're doing now.
Another thrower, Jessica Talley, she was an All-American in 2011 in the javelin. Kind of talked about her coming back from an injury where she didn't get to compete last year?
Or we talk about someone who was not recruited. Jessica was a walk-on in 2011 who I thought might be my number 3 javelin thrower on the team at the time, who ended up in one conference and was 11th at the national meet as a true freshman. She had some arm issues when she was in high school that we had taken care of, so we redshirted her last year. It's been a long road back because in that surgery, Tommy John surgery, where they go back and reconstruct the UCL in the elbow, it's a long road back, and she's done a great job this year, and she's had to battle a few other things, but she's just now starting to get into the shape, the throwing shape, and some of it was from the weather issues. We didn't get all the reps in throughout the spring semester, but that girl could be one of the top javelin throwers in the country if she just allows herself. We're about a month behind schedule, but this is the time where it started to kind of gel and come together. I wouldn't be surprised that she makes it. She's qualified for regionals. She's sitting 14th in the region. She only has to make the top 12 to move on to the national meet. Now she does that again and has a little shot to make some noise again up in Des Moines, or at Eugene is a nationals this year. So she has a good shot to make it back and repeat and become an All-American again.
I came into this season knowing that I had a lot of ground to make up and to do the best I can, and it seems like I've been trying to do the best I can, and it kind of shows that being 1, 2, and 3 in conference so far, that it's paying off.
Well, you're exactly right. You have done the best that you can. You graduate Friday as well as being already qualified for regionals. 2 major accomplishments. Talk about how proud you are of those 2 accomplishments.
I'm super excited. It took me 4 years to finally qualify for discus, but hopefully I can get out there and do something and prove all my hard work.
Well, peeking into this weekend, it's Southland Conference time, tournament time, championship time, sorry. What's it going to take for you to excel and do well for that particular meet?
It's just me being relaxed, because if I go out there and try real hard, it never is not going to be good. So just being out there relaxing, doing what I do every day at practice, and go out there and just do what I have to do and try to get on the podium.
Let's talk a little bit about some team expectation about how how like the women team as a whole are preparing for the conference championships.
I feel we have a real good team. Whatever. I see the sprinters out there working hard and doing what they can. And me as being a thrower, I'm out there every day with Coach Mike doing what we can, and he's very hard on us to go out there and compete. But I feel as a team we can go out there and do good.
Okay. Maybe talk about the strange elements you guys have had to deal with this year. The strange weather, practicing at Maxis Central. Maybe talk about how that has maybe been a lesson learned to make you guys and girls better.
This weather has really been terrible, because one day we out here practicing real nice weather. This is track and field weather, so we get used to this, and competition comes like winter again. So everything just trying to put everything back together. But I think we go out there and do good. We didn't practice at Maxis Central because I was here, but I know it's hard for the sprinters to go out there and not be on the track all the time, whatever. But I feel that really helped us out a lot, whatever, just knowing that we can compete in different kind of temperatures if it's indoor or outdoor. So.
All right, how much is it going to motivate you knowing that your top 2 competitors in the discus this weekend are your teammates?
I'm really excited that they are my teammates, whatever, because we shows how hard we're working, whatever. But I feel that I should be able to pull ahead, even though I'm helping them. They still have another year, and it's my senior year, so hopefully I can pull ahead. And the number 1 is a freshman, whatever, and she has a lot of growing to do, whatever, and she's doing really well. But I feel I can get on top.